the Australian property sector has been reeling as the coronavirus pandemic triggered soaring unemployment, border closures and social distancing measures. Even so, the Chinese real estate portal Jiwei says interest in the Australian market remains strong in the first quarter. For example, inquiries from China fell just 14% versus the 40% decline from domestic buyers. So joining us now to discuss all of this is Monika Tu, who's the founder of the self-named property concierge, Diamondz, working here in Australia. And Monika, just in terms of your background for our viewers, I know that you deal mostly with high net worth individuals from China wanting to purchase Australian assets or to move and work and do business in Australia. So have you seen a dip or any sort of change in demand over the past few months, particularly as these Chinese-Australian tensions have escalated as well?
I think, thank you so much for having me. We saw a lot of challenges in terms of real estate in general in Australia because of lockdowns, because of, we have limited opportunities to have open houses to welcome the buyers. But in terms of the international buyers, the funny thing that's happened to Diamondz Property Concierge is we have a lot of people actually, we're dealing with only the Chinese buyers who have the residency in Australia. So they stayed back from the Chinese New Year and they couldn't leave the country. And we actually did extremely well, even during the pandemic. So we have one-to-one showings and doing from end of mid of March until beginning of May, we actually sold quite a significant numbers. So yeah, I think it's probably just the nature of our business. Of course, in general, it's getting really hard. But for international buyers, particularly Chinese residents or migrants in Australia, the transition phase happens much faster than before.
So the other thing that we've been talking a lot about is obviously the uncertainty that's clouding Hong Kong. We know traditionally, ultra high net worth Chinese individuals would have had assets in Hong Kong. Is that likely to change? And do you expect to see some of that wealth to be diverted to markets like Australia and New Zealand, particularly as we see, the appeal of Australia and New Zealand having handled the coronavirus better than a lot of other places around the world?
I really believe Australia has done an amazing job. So for a lot of Chinese buyers or international buyers, Hong Kong or Singapore, and we actually have more inquiries from these three regions. And since the pandemic, yes, I think because they call Australia a safe haven, right? So we do so well, and a lot of permanent residents are coming back from Australia to Australia, from Hong Kong and China. We see that the demand is literally increasing.
Monika, we are continuing to see tensions rise between China and Australia. This is not the first time that's happened. So when we have heightened tensions between the two countries, how does that affect these Chinese residents in Australia? Do they continue investing in the property markets, or do they become a little bit more cautious?
I would say, because we are Diamondz only dealing with home buyers. So I agree, a lot of people, the Chinese buyers, they previously looking for investment opportunities, but now a lot of people actually turn back to the home buyers to buy a home for themselves or for their families. I think, there definitely will be some effect in terms of business investment, but for the home buyers, it actually become much easier, the decision for this, residents here, for Australian Chinese residents here.
So where are they buying?
Oh, they're buying, because I'm very focused in Sydney, so we, just give you a quick example, from last 3 months, we had only about 6 transactions. They're from 7.25 million to about 19.8 million, and they are buying from Upper North Shores in Sydney or Eastern Suburbs in Sydney. They're all prestige properties.
Monika, what about the other aspect of your business in terms of the HR and recruitment side? Have you seen any sort of impact from the virus and the lockdowns on that side either?
We provide a concierge service. So HR is part of our side business, of helping all these migrant children to look for opportunities. So we see increasing demand for that. So I think, previously, like we said, our migrants normally from 45 or 75, a lot of them still have business in China, and even though they have a family here, the husbands normally travel backwards and forwards, and children went back to China to help with the business. But recently, we saw a lot of people actually having their children here in Australia to start the business, or looking for jobs. So that HR business is really, really helpful.
Monika, too, great having you with us. Black Diamondz Group founder and director from Sydney. Take a look at what the markets are doing right now. We are seeing broad downside pressure. This, as we get the latest Japan numbers when it comes to first quarter capital spending rising